Hi, I'm Raphael Heath and I've been working on the geography collaboration pages here on for the GDST, and just want to talk you through a little bit about how to actually sort of engage with some of these parts so that you can actually make use of them and we can start collaborating effectively. When you first open the geography page, this is what you'll see. And you can see a section here called Newsfeed. You get the same if you go and click on Newsfeed itself. And this is an area where you can actually type in information that you want to flag up to the group as a whole and sort of raise a profile of. It might be something new that's come out, a development, a newsworthy item, or it might be a question that you want to ask, I suppose, of some kind, though they might work better in discussions, but it can work for that. So you simply click into here, type your message, and click post. You can see that's come up in red when I type into there. So that's pretty straightforward, and then hopefully people reply to that, and if necessary, and we can create an interesting kind of range of newsworthy items. You can see sort of listed down here as we started. If you click home, that's exactly the same thing. It brings up this page. If I go into the About section, then it just details what our page is about and how it works, and there's a section here with a video explaining some questions about things to think about for improving our site and a survey to complete as well. Nothing much to change there, except perhaps contribute to the survey. This section is the categories, the discussion section. So if I go into one of these, collaboration ideas in geography, I click on it, you can see there's a couple of discussions that I've started here. Ideas to enhance these pages, any ideas? So I click on that one. I've posted a message here, someone's replied, Robin Moulton here, and obviously if you just want to respond to that, you just simply type in this box, add a reply, and we can create a discussion thread through doing that. So if I go back to the categories here, you can see all the categories that are pre-created. If you want to create a new one, like you want to do a discussion on, let's say, controlled assessment on your exam board, or a theme you want to discuss like fieldwork, then you can just say, here it says create categories, so you click on that one, it comes up with this list of categories that we've already got here, such as the collaboration ideas, and you add a new item. That's to sort of create a new theme of discussion. If you want to just add a discussion within the category, like you want a general discussion or something on controlled assessment, you can click on controlled assessment here and just start a new discussion, add discussion, and you create a subject. So I want to discuss feedback, let's say, from the exam board at Excel on controlled assessment, and then you type your text into the main body. So I don't know, GCSE feedback on marking or something, and then you say, what does everyone think about marking and so on, and you simply save that. Obviously you can change the category if it's not appropriate for the controlled assessment category later, and then save it, and then it gets posted. So I'll just cancel that, but that's how it would work. So that's how you create discussions and how they can be managed. The members page just shows you who the members are, and be useful to follow the members on this page. So if you find the members here, then you can click on them and then go to their page and then find out a bit more about them, and click follow as well on those members. I'll skip over contacts maps for the moment. So shared libraries here, you can see that when I first click it just comes up to my home page, but if I go into documents here, then it brings up the folders where we can store documents we think might be of use to people. I'm going to probably overload this, but if they're really useful items, so if you had something on GIS, teaching resources, computerized mapping and so on, you can go into that folder and just wait for that to come up, and then it's pretty straightforward to add a new document as you'd expect. A bit slow to load there, so I'm not sure why. There we go. Okay, so there's the human geography pages, and you can see sub-menus here, subfolders, and I can click on development, sub-mod folder within it, and here's a file I've uploaded. If you wanted to add a new document, you just say add new document, and then you pick from upload existing file if it's something you've already saved on your computer, and just browse for it as you normally would within your list of files on your normal drives, and find your folders. Add it in. It's quite useful to put comments in here so you can describe it before people open it. Makes it a bit quicker than people searching through files. So you might say this is really useful for year 11 or year 7, and it's this type of document, this type of information, it's a resource or a game or whatever, and that helps people know. So you can see my example here of saying what my top trumps cards are and what they include. You'll notice also when you hover over this little three-dotted menu, it brings up a sub-menu which tells you a little bit about the top trump cards, and it takes a little while the first time, but it loads a little preview video screen here, which is also quite a nice quick way of saving you opening it and seeing what the document's all about. You can see my top trump cards, quite clear what all that's about there. Video is pretty self-explanatory. You can do the same thing, uploading videos and uploading images. So here's some images section, and if you go down you can see the actual gallery of pictures, and you can add a new picture if you think that's of any use. And links here, you can see that this is for putting computer links in, web links in to sites that you think are useful. So if I go to GIS, for example, and these are links, you click on them, it'll open a web page, and adding a new link is pretty straightforward. Obviously, you just click add a new link, and it brings up a URL spacing here. So you just let's say you've got another website that you think has something useful on. Just go to Google for a moment, and let's say I thought, oh, this is going to be really useful to people, this site, BBC, whatever. I'd simply copy that link and go back to the URL and just paste that in. So that's now going to link people to that website. Type description, say this is BBC News, and in the notes here say something like, oh, this would be really great if you're trying to find out information about current affairs or something. I won't save that because I don't think that's particularly useful for people, but you get the idea. Wiki here, you can see this is where you create Wikipedia pages. If you want to create a new page on a theme, like you want to maybe have people contributing to fieldwork techniques or something like that, and want people's ideas or themes on it, I don't know. I've got one here I think works, geography apps. As we're sort of learning and discovering new apps, we could add them to here as a list. So this is how it comes out once you've made the page. I sort of put a little bit of artwork in here, but you basically go to page at the top here, and this is then got options. You can edit the page. Click on that, and you can see here now that you can type directly into the page. Did I click edit properly? I was working on it. Let's try that again. There we go. So it's now editing it, and I can just type something new into that page, you can see, and save that, and that will update for future people who are using that page. So I'll just stop editing and exit that when to save it. Scarf changes. So there you go. That's how a wiki page just gets updated. The news feeds, there's nothing to really change or update. They just provide you with information on current affairs and stuff. So latest feeds from various sites like the BBC and National Geographic and so on. In GIS, you've got various maps that I've put on there which may be of use to people from our GDST collaborative map page in ArcGIS Online. So here you can see the recent maps coming up, and you can just click on them to get a preview, or click on this link at the top to actually open the main gallery and get into the editing tools of ArcGIS Online. GIS tools here you might find useful. These are things that I produce in ArcGIS Online and put them into our site so that they are quick and easy to find. And they've got a couple of different tools here. This first one is an elevation tool. Refresh that page, see why it hasn't loaded properly. Probably me being impatient. Yep. I'll say I do want to proceed on that, because it's otherwise it won't show this properly. And on this one, I get a map of anywhere in the world. I can zoom in and out and change the location. I might want to see about sea level change in the Netherlands. I click the measure tool and the little ruler here. I click 2 or 3 dots, whatever, draw a path. Double click to finish, and it should produce an elevation profile, as you can see there, as I move along the route of this particular landscape. So that's how that tool works. And underneath it I put a social media map, and this shows you information that's being talked about on social media sites, Flickr and YouTube, and you can sign into Twitter if you wish to control that, and you can change the words there as well. It's looking for anyone that's posted something with the word weather in it, but you could change that to another search. So that's another tool that's probably useful. The GIS World Record attempt, I've got this idea of maybe collaborating and us doing fieldwork at the same time to sort of a newsworthy, fun sort of piece of research. It loads up a map like this, and you can just add data to it. So just click the pencil, and if I click on a dot here, you can see this is some dot about neighbourhood perceptions and crime survey. So you can just create a new feature, create a new dot, put it in the right location for the people you're studying. delete that one, it's not displayed very well. Maybe if I zoom in it would be easier, find a better location, then do it too low down on the screen. And you can type data directly into that. How do you get to school, travel time to school, and so on. I'll talk more about that when we get nearer the time for trying that out, but you might want to play with it and put some data in for yourselves. Apart from that, none of these are things that you need to sort of manipulate particularly, so you can play around with them. They're pretty self-explanatory, but those are things that you might be particularly interested in. The last thing perhaps is the Newsfeed area. If you click on Newsfeed up here, it gets into your own personal site, and that is sort of the me at gdst.net, your kind of Facebook profile as it were. And in this particular area, I'm just waiting for it to load, but this particular area, it's got my profile, it's got my news feeds of people I'm following and information coming up, so that's where it's useful to start following colleagues and stuff to get relevant threads and information. You can change your photo by clicking on the change the photo button up here, and it will start off obviously with no photo, so you'll want to insert a photo of some kind into there. Just bringing up the screen to demonstrate that at the moment, and try and pick a picture that captures yourself in it in some way, that people can get a little bit of information about you and your personality as it were, and how you want to portray yourself. That's an interesting area. Anyway, it does work. You can also add information here about yourself. Here we go, so upload a picture, browse a picture, so just as you'd expect, going into a folder, finding a picture and uploading it. And the various little bits of information you can change there. You can edit information about yourself. I think you need to go back to the perhaps about me section, and within that section you can actually change information about yourself in terms of your kind of background CV, things that people would like to know about yourself. So that's under edit your profile here, and that's where you can actually change the words within it and put information in. Just waiting for that to load now. Seems a little slow, but I'm doing this at home, so I've got the fastest internet connection. Well, talk amongst yourselves, make a cup of coffee, come back in a few minutes. You never know, this might have worked. Here we go. I'm not quite sure why it's bringing me an error message, but that's the basic principle. It should allow me to edit. I won't fiddle around with that now, but that's the area that you click onto. Maybe that is, I can edit and type straight into that. Actually, that's fine. It's not sure why the error message has come up, but it is working. It's fine. Final thing you might want, if I click Newsfeed, it might take me back to the not editing page. When you get to this page, it can be sometimes on your me page, sometimes awkward to get back to your subject page, so you could put a link into your subject page. So this is edit link here, and you say add a link, and you can just say, well, this is going to be my geography page or something, and then you type in your URL or copy and paste that in. So I could open the geography page, the subject's geography page there, or I could copy anything else in. So the same principle, obviously, if you had the geography page open here, you just copy and paste that into the address, or in this case I might say, oh, I really want to get to BBC easily and quickly, and I add that link in, click OK, and that will add the link to my list here. So you can see I've done this link already for geography. That means I can quite quickly click that and therefore get back to my geography page and see things that are going on in there as that just loads. So I know some things have been slow to load, but you've got the basic ideas. Hopefully that helps you understand some of the things and the tools to engage with on this SharePoint site. If you need any more information, then obviously contact the people at Trust Office, someone like Justin Morris, Robin Moulton, or myself about geography stuff, Raphael Heath.